Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today we have a fascinating guest, Marcelo Teselman. He is the co-founder and CTO of Techunting. Marcelo and his team recently made headlines in Forbes for a remarkable success story involving an Israeli client. Marcelo has done a great job leveraging global events and turning crisis into strategic advantage. So, Marcelo, thank you for being here. And if you can please introduce yourself and the company.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Yeah, I have been studying many years technology in good places in Latin America, Hort School and KC University, and some additional trainings. And then after some years ago, we founded with Javier Rubio, my co-founder in the US. We found Tech Hunting, this company oriented to connect the best talents in the world, especially in Latin America, but open to the world, to important clients in US, Canada, Europe, and Israel. Original was only US, the focus, but then we discovered that another regions, Canada, Europe, and Israel, were important markets and very interesting for us. And then the company was growing. We created a great team with great talents and very good people. And we start growing and improving day by day the processes and the level of quality, the deliverables, and our teams. And each department was improved.
Great. So, Marcelo, your recent Forbes article, A Call from Israel, the word that changed everything, it was incredible, powerful.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about the genesis of that project and how Tech Hunting was able to deliver such a critical solution during a time of crisis?
Yeah, that was a really incredible call. It was really a phone call to Skype. It's not an email because the lead was a call, and they was researching about some recruiting and staffing company in Latin America, some of the best. And we are on clutch with some articles and good reputation, high level reputation, top 3, top 5 in many platforms. And then they research our company, our services, and connect to me and to the company, trying to find some talents in the region, some talents in Latin America as support engineers. And then we see the opportunity. It was more than our dream, because if you know, or the people that knows the market from Tel Aviv or Israel, is high quality market, more complex compared to New York, San Francisco, Silicon Valley. All they are really great markets, but the level of quality and professionalism and the level of work is really incredible. And then we start conversations, we sign the contract, and at starting point, they request only one position for staffing for support engineer with English and Cisco IP telephony plus Cisco. We start researching this person, a young woman around 25 years, start with them. Her name was Candela. That's a great talent working for them. And then after some months, they say, okay, this person is doing an incredible job. We want more Candelas, more people like her. And it was this, okay, let's do that. And then we continue working with them to find this type of support engineers, then developers, sales, marketing, Pythons, and now IA engineers, and another contract managers, and another roles that they are not focused on technology exactly, but they open to a team. And now, at this moment, after 3 or 4 years, they have more than 34 people with us. And then it's one of the most important clients. And that's really amazing. The way of work, the commitment, the values to the people, the bonus to the people, the performance. They invite more than 10 engineers last 3 months to the US, to different events and meetings, working 1 week with them, because like as a prize, no? It's a company that is in the stocks in Israel and New York, and then they have around 7 or 10,000 engineers. But they invite, these people was selected as rock stars, as global rock stars, and they select 7 or 8 people, different roles, and then they say they are rock stars. Like if they want to be here in the US, sharing with the team some days working together. And it was really, some people knows the US by audio calls. The first time going to the US or to Texas or to Chicago or New York on some part for a meeting with them, it was really amazing. And then they continue working day by day with a high level of professionalism. And then an important point is that to start working with them, we optimize all our security technologies, our encryption in machines, our processes, all our level of quality, if you want in a sentence, was on a high level to be aligned with the Israeli standards. Because we were aligned with the US standards, that's okay, but then we need to improve that to be one step more, to be aligned to the high quality of the world. I think that if you know, Israel has around 500 startups reviewed by investors monthly, 500. And then most of them are funded to continue growing. Another point that was really incredible, they have a lot of team in the US, Israel, and now Latam. But during the war, part of that last month, very difficult, one of the VP of human resources was in Israel. And from the protected areas, they continue contracting people during the war. They never stop. And then do you see an example of commitment, dedication, not workaholic. We don't call workaholic. Commitment, passion, and working dedicated to these incredible, powerful companies. Now, AudioCodes Inc. is competing to Cisco globally with only 10,000 employees. Cisco has, I think, 1,000 maybe
Yes.
or more. No, but the point is the solution. They have the solution, the software, and the innovative creativity put in this software solution that connects with some microphones, cameras, and software, a high-level video conference environment, a very competitive cost, and phones too, a kit to high-level companies to provide them a solution. And then our teams are working on that, in different scenarios. And that's really amazing. And that's putting our company in another level of quality. And then we are really happy with that. And then we open opportunities. We achieve AM Docs, that is for 5G technology in Israel. It's another client that we work to providing with them. It's really an incredible opportunity, an incredible moment that was unexpected for our pipeline, but very, very interesting.
That's great. That brings to my question. Beyond the immediate success in Israel, what has been the long-term impact on this project on Tech Hunting's reputation and global positioning?
I think that they opened a lot of doors because they open opportunities in Israel with their recruiting in other firms, a lot of meetings with new clients in US or California or Canada. When we mention only 2 seconds, we have a client in Israel. It's like the contract is signed. It's like magic because if you say, I have a German car or I have a Switzerland chocolate or Switzerland watch, no? It's for you, it's simple. You have a Switzerland swatch. It's simple.
Yeah.
In this case, in software, it's similar. In the conversation, if we mention something according to our contract, it simplify the conversations and simplify new businesses because
You have the
it is,
reputation.
the reputation is different around the world. It's really another opportunity, another way of work, I think. Obviously, I have been working for Switzerland and Germany and Sweden cultures or Sweden companies, and it's similar to Switzerland, I think, for example, or similar to this type of countries that it's the culture, it's a lot. If you see a Roche employee, and then if you see Roger Federer in the court some years ago playing, it's very similar. If you see the quality, the level, the commitment, the dedication, the human style, it's similar because I think the Switzerland culture that you have. And in these cases, I think it's really an impact for our client to accelerate some processes and simplify a lot of process because they are completely a very simple company and simple people. And then the other magic point is that if they say something talking to you, if they say, we will commit to put 2 engineers in the next quarter, the comments are similar as a signature because they commit to the work. It's similar or more, or 2 signatures, because it's only very simple talking in this way with these people. We
Their
have all
yes is yes, their no is no.
yeah, correct. And then
Amazing.
this person has an incredible performance. We will provide 12% increase. You will know for the States, it's a lot, but we want this person will have 12%. And for us, it's perfect. And then you have that ways. They take care of the people, engineers, supporting the person in good moments and maybe additional based on our culture too. Obviously, in moments with some problem with the family or something, they are doing a great job with performance reports, but they are supporting the person and all the teams for them in general, not for the life, not only for the job. And that's a very nice culture that is aligned with us. in tech hunting, we have
Yes.
these values because we're happy with that and they're happy with our way because our values are based on that and teamwork, dedication, commitment, and trying to have our teams as happy as possible, comfortable, taking care of them, not only with certification or computer or MacBooks or Macs, additional in a personal way. It was a personal situation with a family, or they wanted to work from Miami 2 months, for example, or from Australia. If they commit with a job that they are accomplishing the tasks, that's okay. In general, in the new world, we validate with the clients, but we have the flexibility for that.
Yes. So yeah, the article does highlight your disruptive company culture, and I can see how that is enabling your team to move with the speed and precision for these international projects, right?
Yeah, correct.
So, but tell me something. Are there any key lessons that you learned from this journey as a co-founder and leader?
Yeah. One of the key lessons were related to leadership. I am leader for the recruiting teams and the delivery teams, and it's very difficult to be a leader and to be a manager. When you are a leader, you need to be transparent, you need to coach the team, to help and support in all scenarios, to listen carefully and correctly each person, and to support the team all together doing the best and trying to help exactly what is the best for each of them. We provide a lot of coaching events and coaching activities for different teams. And for example, in some cases, we have some difficult situation or complex situation with a complex project. And we have a lot of psychologists in the team, in the recruiter staff, for example, but we have an external expert coach that we contract for specific situations and the fusion sessions, let's say the word, with them, with the person to work together, the founders, Javier and me, plus maybe the sales team or maybe the recruiter experts working together, for example, like not only brainstorming, because in some cases it's brainstorming, but in some cases it's how is our team supporting this complexity? How is the best way that we can put in the table how we are, which is the best, and which points we need to fix or review. And the other point is, ever you need to be happy when the things are good, but trying to stop and wait and see when something is not perfect or something not very good accepted by a client. That's okay. That's usual, but you need to stop. And the point is, take time to review the item, to make some call, to set some calls and review together internally with the founders or with the team. What can we do best for the future? The point is to be better day by day and to grow day by day in all the areas. It is very important to review, to optimize the processes, the teams, the elements, maybe the software, trying to listen to the clients, to listen to the employees, to the teams, and to work and to review as founders in our errors at the very beginning, and then all the persons in the teams trying to be flexible, not trying to understand and to learn, open to learn and to improve maybe some things or maybe a process. We learn from our clients. We learn from our experiences. From this client that I say from audio calls and from my clients, we learn a lot because they explain, okay, we will recommend to review this point or this process. Can you please take a look? Okay, let us check internally. And we work on that. And in general, they are right because we are a partnership, because our idea is our base in the model of tech hunting is to be partners, not to sell things. We sell computers, recruiting, software development hours, but the idea is to be partners, strong partners with each person of our clients around the world. And they pick up the phone and say, we have some point in Chile. We need some computer in Peru. Need an engineer in Canada. Can you help us? Okay, let us work that because they trust on our team and they trust on our expertise. And the point is, in some cases, we comment something to the client, and in some cases, they comment to us. And we ask for feedback quarterly, bi-monthly, or in different type of meetings, and we try to meet the people face to face as possible. For example, monthly with co-workings in Latin America or in the US or in Europe, or bi-monthly, or depending the options. We think, for example, now at the end of the year, we have a party in Argentina, an important event. Most of our staff will be in Buenos Aires with some coaching events, some teamwork event, team buildings event, and then the company will be invited to be here with us to share special moments and then to work together in co-workings, to be working a lot of them together, and we want to listen them. How are them? How are the projects? If they need something, it is very important because we want and we work for the best or the high level communication technology, as I explained. But we think that the face-to-face meetings and the personal meetings,
Yes,
they are really, really important.
for
That's
sure.
very important. That's not the same to avoid that because with COVID, the pandemic, no, we don't do that. No, we don't think that. We think that the combination is the best. They use the elements, they align what is the best, but we are humans,
Yeah,
not IA, not machines. And then it's very different if you are one day working with your colleague in a co-working in some space and then remotely 100% 6 months.
it's not the
It's
same.
totally,
Yes,
it's totally different. And then we pay for that. We support all the elements, the Uber, the traveling, all the expenses, but that's not mandatory. But we recommend that, and then the people will is very happy with that because it's really amazing. It's a nice experience.
can I ask you something? How do you go through the hiring processes to ensure that this high quality of talent stays in your company?
That's one of the challenges that is improving day by day. But one of the points is trying to understand exactly what the client needs, what are the requirements, how are the job descriptions, to check and validate the job descriptions with them. And then to check in the market if that is real. You know? For example, if you need a profile and your budget, for example, is aligned to the market. Because in some cases, you see that a lot of clients wants two profiles in one JD, the mobile developer and backend developer all together for $3,000. And that's not possible. And we are completely transparent with the clients, completely transparent. We say this profile, this JD in this environment, if we cannot check this and this point, that's impossible.
Mm,
We don't want to waste time, to waste money, to say something that's not correct. We try to talk carefully and to negotiate and to think together with the client if it is necessary to review the JD. When we have a JD aligned and agree, we start working with our tools, our big human resource and recruiter staff, plus some tools. We have a database at around more than 90,000 CVs and a lot of network with universities. And we start searching. We do the screening interviews, then we do background check, we do drug test,
mm,
and we do some psychotechnical online tests that are very, very good, very simple. And then we validate. In general, we validate with the recruiters. And in some cases, if it is a mid-level up to high-level engineer, for example, we add a call with me, the recruiter together with me, to validate a bit more, no? Trying to check about the people, some additional questions, another approach for that. And then when we are okay, we share with the client, which is the 2 or 3 engineers or persons that we think the position. And then we was closer with the client in Slack, in email, or by calls, with weekly calls or bi-weekly calls to check how is the things going, or how if the process, the feedback we receive, it's very important for us trying to receive the feedback and what need to optimize or to review about the position, trying to be aligning the process, no? Trying to find exactly which is the best talent for that position. No? And then we complete all the process together with the client and our team. And we have daily meetings with the team as a scrum to check the priorities and try to check blockers and unblock any problem. And we use creativity and in the process of recruiting. And in this way, from years up to now, with really, really complex engineers, the results are really amazing because they show that we have around 2%, 2.5% attrition in our company. That is really low for the market. And then after that, not in one client, maybe in 2 or maybe 3 or 5 clients for US and for Israel, we have rock stars. The rock stars, American calls that people that was remarked or was elected as one of the best in the area. Then by performance, by dedication, by the combination
mm.
of that. And then in global teams or 5,000, 10,000 or 50,000 people, if we have 2, 3 or 5 people selected as rockstar, that's not by
That's
rate,
amazing.
but that's
Yeah,
by performance. That's really amazing. And that's
yeah,
one of the points that we check if we are doing the good things or not.
that's great. Switching a little of topic, we spoke before that you are implementing AI to your customers, and it has to be done super carefully because of all the security and things that are involved. So, what carefully looks like on a day to day?
Yeah, that's a very important challenge that we have. We are working now in different teams for that. We are working in a global policy for us. We are finishing that and for our clients. The idea is trying to take into account all the powerful, all the good benefits for the IA, for the different IAs I comment in general, and then what is the risk for the IA? If you put client information, employees information, personal data, if you ask something that is prohibited around the world, these type of things, each person using the different IA tools need to be very careful with that. And we train the teams on that. We will sign these documents to all the employees about that. And then our challenge now is trying to start with our experts, machine learning, IA, and some analyst engineers, trying to check with different clients about how we can help them using IA, for example, some chatbot or additional things or process automated or create automated things for scripting or different things, or graphical or a combination. Another risk is that if you see lab reports around, I think it's MIT University, only 7%, 7.5% global IA projects are providing return of investment. Yeah. That's really, really low. And then the idea is to explain this clear to the clients, to avoid cutting positions, simplifying teams faster and without thinking, and trying to explain or help to understand. If you put some IA tool, we will have this and this and this and this, and we can monitor this quarterly. But then you will not put IA tools and then you will cut 10 employees next week. Yeah. That's not the way. We are worried about that for us and for the world, not for only for tech hunting. But it's really important. Trying to assess SAP in a moment, Salesforce in another moment, or in the case, for example, cloud systems in another moment. Very good technologies, but they have a lot of fails. They need legal support. A lot of legal support is pending from the legal staff. We have great lawyers, buffets supporting us. And that's one of the important points of the world, I think, not for the companies. This technology will be supported in case of errors, in case of fails. If Tesla has a problem in the street with driving, if it is an automated machine, the automated mode, autonomous, is not the driver, it's Tesla the responsible. And then that's a simple word, but if you have a chatbot asking a client in a bank with some critical issue, who will be responsible, the client or the bank or the chat developer or the chat creator, not the owner of the company? I think it's very interesting. They have different errors, they have security risks, but it need to be implemented carefully with what is good and what is not so good. And the managers and the C levels and the CEO and the top managers need to understand that. That's very important. And then go down in the scale in the company. Because if the engineer say, okay, this is wonderful, let's do that. Okay, that's wonderful. And then explain to the manager, explain to the CEO thinks that, oh, no, we will have saving $2 million monthly next week. And no, that's not the way. And then the point is the opposite, no? In last year's SAP or some new technology or Active Directory years ago, different great technologies or solutions, or computers, cloud computing, for example, or virtual machines. That's really important. But the point is how to implement that, how to understand the business, how to adapt, and then monitor how this business going with that. And then, according to our planet, we don't need to forget that a lot of processor CPU energy and a lot of water and energy is in the back end for that big servers. In some cases, you have a calculation that it's great, but you can do the calculation and maybe you need to think if you need or not the chatbot or the IA for that, because that will be a new challenge, a new question for our planet. Last days, I received an email from a great friend from Microsoft that he was fired from 15 years in Microsoft, a great engineer with 1.2 thousand people from Microsoft that canceled. And they say all this money was put in a data center for global processing with the US. And I think it's interesting to invest in data center. Yeah, that's cool. But the point is how the company will think on that, because these people, these 1.5 thousand people will not be replaced never and easily in this way. In this case, I think maybe it's an error. That's not 2 plus 2, 4. It's more complex. If you go to the biotech on the pharma industry or the oil and gas or the car manufacturing, you have more complexity, related to the law and the impact in the processes. Yes. There are certain limits of what AI can do versus a human thinking brain. Yeah. Of course,
as the pace that your company is growing, you require incredible operational efficiency. Are you leveraging AI internally?
Yeah. We use different tools for drawing, for images, for QA tests, QA scripting. We use for analyzing CVs versus JDs, the resumes of CVs versus JDs. We can keep from the database the CVs or the resumes aligned, which is the best, 90% aligned to the JD. They help our recruiters to be more productive. For example, we use for Latin America costs for accountant and taxes. That's not perfect. We have a lot of errors or problems, but in general, they help us to have good information in maybe 1 or 2 or 3 days for clients that want to develop a team in 3 countries, for example. Then we have real account lawyers, account feds, account persons in the country that we validate. We don't use directly from the EA to the client. But in general, they provide a good outlook, a good overview for the processes in different parts, no? Maybe in testing, design, UX, website, monitoring, different activities we use in different departments. We provide licenses to our teams as we provide Platzi or training licenses or certifications too, or English lessons, but they use it as a tool. And in this way, we want to sign this policy very fast this week because we think that it's very important about the responsibility and the data.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Given your goals for global expansion and maintaining this high value proposition, what could say solves a single bottleneck that you are currently having? Is there anything there?
And that's a good question. I think that's not a bottleneck, but maybe the challenge. One of our challenges is trying to learn and to understand and to read what are the CIO and the CTOs thinking for the next 12 months. Because you know that the market, the Trump impacts, the war's impacts are changing a bit our world. No? In general, different impacts, different movements. But now I think that the world as Canada, Europe, and US are more relaxed, a bit relaxed. And the idea is to work together with our clients and with account teams and different persons to set some meetings before the end of the year, trying to share together, to think together which are the next steps in the industry. Because this is a very good moment to contact people from Latin America and really, really good talents. They are available, they are training, and then that's very good because in 2 or 3 years ago, we had engineers with 2, 3, or 4 offers at the same moment. And they were evaluating which was the best. And it was real. They choose one and that's perfect. At this moment, it's more relaxed, but they are open to listen. And these companies, for example, for US or Canada or UK or Israel or Sweden, they are interested in these talents. And then one of our challenges is to go deeper with Europe because Ireland, Sweden, UK, we have new clients that they are really, really happy with the teams. And some part of the time zone, not all, but some part is aligned with LATAM and they can work with us. And then they are really happy with the quality of the performance of our engineers. The same of Israel. And then I think that the US is more relaxed. And then we hear from some clients that next year and the other year, 2027, will be great years for the US. And that's really interesting. And then now I think that we are optimizing and improving internal processes because the market is in a high level of proficiency and of quality. We are optimizing the teams and tools. But in parallel, we are going to events, we are going to meetings, we are visiting clients, trying to talk, only to talk, not to sell, trying to talk and to understand a bit more what they have in mind. And I think that one of the points is, if it is possible in the discussion, trying to pick up the IA for the conversation, or maybe put 10 minutes for the IA and take about the rest of the company. Not all the world is IA, because we think that it's an error. If you oil your company, if you are an oil and gas company, all your company is IA. No, that's not correct. Some part is real. It can be review, optimized using IA technology. That's correct. But you have a lot of things to do: support, development, monitoring, improve your technology, be faster, be secure, review some connections with the firewalls or with your teams, or align taxes between the US, India, and Latin America. and how the teams distribute differently or the time zones. A lot of things that are very important. And maybe I think the problem of the IA in this way is that we have some confusion that all will be IA.
It's a big
And
hype,
that's,
right?
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
yes, everybody wants to go through that. No, that's amazing that you are internally leveraging AI. And as you said, you know how to use it. So you're taking the most of it.
We are trying to do that and train the team on that. No? We need to be training daily. No, it's learning continuously, and then we are open from founders up to all day by day learning. No, that's important.
Yes. Now, taking from your leadership experience and your future impact, are there any mistakes that you would recommend others to avoid?
That's a good question. Nice question. Yeah, I think one of that, never stop listening your feelings. When you have an interview with a client, with a person, with a future employee, with a future vendor, especially clients and employees, be aligned with your feelings. You have the correct questions, you have the expertise, you have your university title, you have the MBA or anything. But I think that one of the magic that we have with my founder, Javier, is when we interview clients or persons for our teams, it's very difficult that we were not aligned with the thinking about the person or about the feelings. How do you feel that conversation? Because in some cases we feel this is an excellent engineer. That's great. But we will not feel that it's for tech hunting. Something is not aligned with us. And then it's very important. I think in your personal life is the same. That you need to respect that because these feelings are some, I don't know, magic, but another level of visibility or an analysis. And then if you work aligned with your feelings and what would we think in the conversations, in the meeting, it's very difficult to fail or to have problems.
Yes.
And then if you have a small problem or medium problem, you will be ready to fix that without any problem. But if you go in the other way, okay, no, we'll go with this vendor, with this person, it's cheaper. I think that we can try. Okay, maybe you have some problems and they will be difficult to fix that. And then that you have an impact in the company or in the budget or something. And then in some cases, we say no to clients. That's not usual, but in some opportunities or scenarios, when we research about clients, financial and company profiles, and if we depend of their payments, because we have a financial back, but we are very commitment with our employees and responsibility for them. And then we don't want a company with risky or financial information that's dark. And we prefer to say, we are not for them. Sorry, but we go to the next. And then we take care for our teams and we try to find clients that we are happy and comfortable working together. I think that's very important. Vendors, clients, and then if you are not happy, you need to change. That's very important because it's part of our model. And then if we are aligned in the values and in the education, dedication, commitment, very simple. It's different. We have problems, we have challenges, but it's like a friend. If you have a friend with commitment with you, you have a problem or something, you will know how to check it, how to fix that. And that's important. And then in our processes, we try to use that. And then try to work on that, and then to listen to our people. It's very important to listen to your people or to the people in the companies, what they need, how they're feeling, do you need something to optimize it? Let's do a brainstorming. How can we optimize this team? Let's check it. Let's work on that. And open to learn, open to be better. And then I say that similar in tennis, similar to Roger Federer or Nadal say why a tennis player, number one, number two in the history and a lot of years, is continue training daily 5 or 6 hours in vacations. Federer says a lot of years, one of the great talents, one magic person. And because they say if you need to be with a high level of professional equality in a match, in Wimbledon final, if you are not trained, you will fail or you have problems. And then they train with high level because if you have possibilities, you have elements, you have teams, you have your expertise, that's perfect.
Yes.
But that's not all because you need to be trained for that. At the moment that you need, you have the elements and the possibility to do the best.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what would be a piece of advice that you would be given to your younger founder self? Would that be it, or would that be something different?
One of that is if you will be a founder, you will be creating a company, as one of my coaches said, Tobias, some years ago, you need to be prepared to fail and to be on the floor. A lot of times you will be on the floor and then you need to wake up and stay, wait, relax, take breath, and continue. Sometimes you will be happy, you will be the champagne or the wine celebrating with your team, but you need to be prepared to fail. If you are not prepared to fail, sometimes during the year, during the life of the company, do not be a founder, work for another person, work for another company. That's different. But if you prepare your mentality or your mind for that and you accept the challenge, that's really amazing. But you have the combination. You will need to prepare for that. The combination is difficult. It's not so easy. It's really magic. But then, for example, one day I was last year in Paris for my birthday with the family, and I received Forbes article talking about audio calls and tech hunting. And it was I was crying, I think, because you say a lot of work is, it's not all there, but it's some part of the magic in a few lines, and you see some dedications or some person mention or this type of article, and you say, okay, I think that we are doing something good. When you have 2 or 3 people in another client, another company that stop a project and start a new 2, 3 years in a new client, and then call us to return to tech hunting, do our values, do our culture, and then continue working with us. Okay, I think something is going good. Because no, it's not about business. It's not all business. I think that our focus is a big important part related to the people. How can we optimize people's lives? And these people from Latin America is living better with better benefits, great opportunities, incredible companies. And then I think young people to be prepared to study English, to have open networks. I have more than 10,000 connections in LinkedIn, 19,000. I think the CEO of Volkswagen has 1,000, and saying 19, we are not Volkswagen, but 19,000 followers, it's a really important number. And then we work with that, with the connections open to the world and to the markets, not only developers, clients too, and then work in the communications, in the opportunities, in the open doors and in events to continue in the ways that the company decides. Maybe US, maybe Europe, maybe events. I think that's one of the part. No? And then working with machines or with software is not working with people. Found that if you are a great developer or a great software engineer, and then you will be prepared to be a founder, that's very good. That's very nice. But it's not the same using software that managing people. It's totally different. And then that's important. And I think some people say, no, it's the same. I put an Excel, I put the file, and I put 1, 2, 3, I paid, and that's all. And no, the magic is different.
That's right. Well, this is great. Now, if you could share with our listeners where they could learn more about tech hunting, where could they learn more? Your LinkedIn, the webpage?
Yeah, I can see that techhunting.net in the webpage. There's a lot of information, article blogs, and a lot of articles interesting. They can write to us for anything, for questions, for sending a CV, for project that they want to share, or if they have some client and they want to share with us, they can be an opportunity for them to receive some money. And then they can follow me or check me in LinkedIn, Marcelo Teselman in LinkedIn, connect to me and set some call or talk or read about us or about myself. And you have all the team there in LinkedIn. I think that's the best way. If you find in IA or you find in Google, you will find tech hunting with the articles in Forbes and other big medias, different medias, and our YouTube channel too. And then at this moment, one of the challenges too is that a lot of clients say, I found your company in the IA, not in Google. And then we are top 3, top 5, top 2 in the IA when they say recruiting firm or staff augmentation firm, not finding in Google box, finding in IA tools, IA different platforms. And that's one of the challenges at this moment.
Wow, interesting.
And then these tools provide the references, where they support our company and which information it's supporting is not paid. It's supporting with organic information.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So we are coming up to the end of our podcast. I want to thank you very much for joining me. And this is just for fun. It's a question I like to make. So if there was a magic button, it's magical, and you can push it and ask for anything in the world, what would that be? Doesn't have to be work.
No. Difficult question. I think that part of the magic is the passion of work, and passion of life. I learned a lot from manager, coaches, and my mother, my father, and some persons in the family. For example, I think that when you have passion in your job or in your sport, if you play something, it's not a job. If you do that with a lot of passion, you enjoy a lot. I think will be to keep my passion all life, to keep doing this company growing and being better. Another recommendation for young people or for entrepreneurship is trying to find what is your passion. How can you connect your passion with your work or with your studies? Because in some cases it's not the same. In my case, for example, I studied computer science, but I discovered that selling was my passion, not computer science. And then the connection between that was part of defining the company. Because at this moment we sell computers and elements and monitors and different things around the world, around Latin America, for clients and for employees. And for additional to recruiting and staffing, we can sell different products to all LATAM that is very complex. And one of our magic models has that. And that's an additional value offered to the market. One of my personal passion is related to that, to the preparation for the sale, to the conversations, to talk with the people, not only to develop code is not, that's interesting, but for me it's more interesting the relation with business, with a person, trying to understand how can we help that person.
Amazing. Thank you very much. That's it for today. I want to thank you for coming. And I know that the listeners are going to love your insights and your success story. So thank you,
Okay,
Marcelo.
thank you. Thank you very much for your time and this opportunity to talk with your audience.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thanks.